I clenched my fists under the table, nails biting into my palms, as the clatter of champagne flutes rang through the penthouse dining room. It was New Year's Eve, and the Chicago skyline glittered beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows of our family's sleek fortress, a stage set for my father's favorite game, cutting me down. The long glass table stretched like a no-man's land between us, decked with caviar and crystal, a battlefield I never signed up for. My father, Victor, smirked at me from the head, his silver hair slicked back, eyes glinting like the ice in his drink. "Elena," he sneered, voice thick with disdain, "still scraping by with that hobby of yours? A disgrace to the Voss name." Laughter rippled, cruel, sharp, through the room. My mother sat beside him, her sequined dress shimmering under the chandelier, her face a mask of cool indifference, nodding faintly as he spoke. My sister Lila leaned back in her chair, a smug grin curling her lips, soaking up the spotlight like a queen at coronation. At 29, she was Victor's golden girl, VP of Voss Enterprises, untouchable. Me? At 27, I was nothing to them, just a shadow in their glow. "Lila's the only one worth a damn," Victor went on, raising his glass. "Closed that Detroit deal last week. Millions in the bank. You, Elena? What's your excuse this time?" I swallowed hard, jaw tight, forcing the storm inside me to stay caged. Not here, not now. Not with all these eyes on me. The room was packed. Uncles, aunts, cousins, Voss execs, and a handful of polished friends, all gathered for what was billed as a celebration. But the air was heavy with judgment. Whispers snaked around me, pity from some, cold amusement from others like Aunt Claire, who watched with a thin smile, sipping her wine. I'd been here before, mocked, dismissed, the family punchline. But tonight stung deeper, rawer, like a wound ripped open. Victor leaned forward, voice dropping. "You could have had it all, Elena. Corner office, private jet. Instead, you picked some pathetic gig and a rat-hole apartment. Lila's my pride. You're my regret." Mom exhaled softly, shaking her head like I was a lost cause. I gripped my fork tighter, the metal cold against my skin, but kept my face blank. They didn't know. Couldn't know what I'd built. Then Grandma rose, slow and steady, her silver cane tapping the hardwood. Silence crashed down like a curtain. Victor shot her a look, annoyed. "Mom, sit down. She doesn't need coddling. She chose this mess over Voss Enterprises, over family." Lila smirked, swirling her drink. "Let her wallow, Grandma. She's good at it." Grandma didn't budge. Her hands, wrinkled but firm, rested on the table, her gray eyes locking on Victor with a fire I hadn't seen in years. "It's time you all knew the truth," she said, voice calm but cutting through the room like a blade. My heart slammed against my ribs. "What truth?" Victor rolled his eyes. "What? That she's a failure? We've covered that." A sharp glint flashed in Grandma's gaze. "You're the fool, Victor, and you've been blind too long." The room tensed, glasses stilled mid-sip. Lila's smirk faltered. My breath caught. What was she about to drop? Whatever it was, I felt the ground shift, and for the first time that night, I wasn't sure I'd stay in the shadows. That truth from Grandma hung in the air like a spark about to ignite, and I felt it. The shift, the crack in their smug little world. The penthouse dining room buzzed with tension, the Chicago skyline a cold witness beyond the glass. Victor's smirk twisted into a scowl, his knuckles whitening around his champagne flute. "Blind?" he snapped, voice dripping venom. "She's the one who's blind. Threw away Voss Enterprises for some pipe dream. She's a disgrace, Mom, and you know it." Lila leaned forward, her sleek black dress catching the chandelier's gleam, her grin sharp as a shard. "Seriously, Grandma, Elna's a nobody. Look at her, still playing startup in that dump downtown." I bit the inside of my cheek, blood hot, nails digging deeper into my palms. The room, uncles, aunts, execs, watched like vultures, some shifting in their seats, others smirking like Lila's echo. Mom sat silent, her face a blank slate, picking at her napkin as if I wasn't even there. "Lila's right," Victor piled on, leaning back with a king's swagger. She could have been set. VP by now, rolling in it. Instead, she's scraping by, a Voss in name only. My daughter? Please, I've got one kid I'm proud of. He tipped his glass at Lila, who preened, tossing her dark hair. The praise was a knife, and they knew where to twist it. I kept my mask up, stone cold, uncracked, though every word burned. They didn't see me, never had. Years of this, dinners, board meetings, holidays, always the same. Elna the failure, Elna the joke. But tonight, Grandma's stand lit something raw. She didn't sit, didn't flinch, her cane a quiet thunder on the floor. Enough, she said, voice low but slicing through their noise. Victor snorted. Enough what? Enough of your arrogance, Grandma cut in, sharp as a whip. You think you're the titan here, Victor? You think Lila's your legacy? You're fools, both of you. The room went dead still. Glasses froze, breaths held. Lila's smirk slipped, her eyes narrowing. What's that supposed to mean? She hissed. Mom finally looked up, uncertainty flickering in her hazel gaze. Mom, what are you saying? Grandma's eyes swept the table, deliberate, landing on me last, kind but fierce, like a storm held back. Elena's the only one worth a damn in this family, she said steady. My chest locked, breath snagging. What? Murmurs erupted, shock, disbelief. Aunt Claire's wine glass clinked too loud. Victor barked a laugh, harsh. Her? You're losing it, Mom. She's got nothing. Grandma's stare turned to steel. Nothing. You've been too busy propping up Lila to notice what she's done. Tell me, Victor, what's Lila built? What's she earned that you didn't hand her? Lila's face darkened, her perfect poise cracking. Grandma, what the hell? Quiet, Grandma snapped, voice booming, and Lila's mouth slammed shut, stunned. I've watched you all, years of it, Grandma went on, praising Lila's every breath, tearing Elena down like she's dirt. But she didn't break, she built. Without your cash, your name, your handouts, she's outshone you all. My hands trembled under the table, pulse hammering. They didn't know, couldn't know, about Apex Innovations, my renewable energy firm, a quiet giant I'd carved from scratch. Victor's brow furrowed, arrogance wavering. Built what? Some fantasy? Grandma smiled, thin and dangerous. Tell them, Elena. Tell them what you've done. My throat tightened, eyes darting. Victor's glare, Lila's sneer, Mom's doubt. Go on, Grandma urged, softer now. You've hidden it too long, because they made you feel small. Not tonight. I pushed my chair back an inch, heart pounding, and stood. I built my own company, I said, voice steady despite the shake inside. Apex Innovations. From the ground up, no help, no Voss strings. Gasps rippled. Shock. Disbelief. Victor scoffed. You expect us to buy that? Grandma's voice cut through, calm and final. Believe it, Victor. I backed her. And it's bigger than your precious Voss Enterprises ever was. The room tilted, their faces paling, and I felt the frame shift. I wasn't the shadow anymore. Grandma's words hit like a shutter snap. Fast, final, exposing their whole damn game. The penthouse dining room froze, the Chicago skyline a silent jury beyond the glass. Victor's scoff hung there, brittle, his champagne flute trembling just enough to betray him. Lila's sneer twisted into something uglier, her dark eyes flashing panic. Mom's napkin dropped, her hands fluttering like she'd been caught off guard for once. The guests, uncles, execs, cousins, leaned in, whispers buzzing like static. Bigger than Voss Enterprises? Victor spat, voice hoarse. You're delusional, Mom. She's got nothing but lies. But his bravado was fraying, and I saw it. The crack in his armor. I stood taller, the weight of years, mockery, dismissal, lifting off my shoulders. Grandma's gaze locked on me, fierce and steady, a lifeline in the storm. Tell them, she said again, softer but unyielding. They don't deserve your silence anymore. My pulse thumped, loud in my ears, but I nodded, stepping into the light they'd tried to snuff out. Apex Innovations isn't a fantasy, I said. voice cutting through the room. I built it, alone, no handouts, no Voss name. Renewable energy, solar, wind, grids. It's real, it's mine, and it's thriving. The room erupted. Gasps, murmurs, a glass clinking too hard on the table. Aunt Claire's wine sloshed, her smirk gone. Lila shot up, chair scraping. You're full of it! Some green energy scam? Prove it. I met her glare, cool as the January wind outside. I don't need to prove it to you. Check the headlines tomorrow. Apex is everywhere you're not. Victor laughed, sharp and hollow. Headlines? You're a joke, Elena. Always have been. But his eyes darted to Grandma, uncertainty creeping in. What's she talking about, Mom? Grandma straightened, her silver cane a quiet gavel. I funded her, she said, slow and deliberate. 3 years ago, when you were too busy kissing Lila's ass to notice. I saw what she could do, what you couldn't. Apex isn't just thriving, it's a giant. And starting tomorrow, it owns 52% of Voss Enterprises. The air sucked out of the room. Victor's glass slipped, splashing gold across the table. Lila's jaw dropped, her poise shattering. What? She choked. Mom's hands flew to her mouth, eyes wide. Elena! How? I smirked, slow and sharp. While you were propping Lila up, I was watching. Your bad deals, your sinking margins, Lila's flops you covered with Voss cash. I studied it all, built Apex smarter, leaner. You handed me the playbook, arrogance and all. Victor's face drained, his fists clenching. You can't! There's no way! There's every way, Grandma cut in, voice like steel. I made sure of it. Legal, locked, done. You've been bleeding Voss dry. Elna's the one who'll save it. Lila lunged forward, voice shrill. This is a setup. Grandma, you picked her over me? I'm the VP. I earned it. Grandma's eyes narrowed, cold. Earned? Every title you've got, Victor spoon-fed you. Elena fought, bled, for hers. You'd crumble without his safety net. Lila flinched, red creeping up her neck. Mom finally spoke, voice shaking. Elena, why didn't you tell us? I turned to her, steady. You didn't want to know. None of you did, too busy laughing to ask. The guests stared, shock, awe, some smirking at Victor's fall. Uncle Ted shifted, muttering, She's got guts! Victor slammed the table, standing. This is bullshit. I'll fight it. Lawyers, courts? Grandma smiled, thin and lethal. With what, Victor? Your stock's gone. Apex has it. Tomorrow, Elena's in charge. My chest burned, a rush of power and pain tangling. You wrote me off, I said, voice low, locking eyes with him. Called me a failure. But I didn't just build a company. I built an empire. And it's taking yours. Victor slumped, breath ragged. Lila glared, fists tight. Mom looked lost, hands trembling. Grandma nodded at me, proud. The frame was mine now. They'd mocked the shadow, but I'd been the light all along. Tomorrow, I'd flip their whole damn picture. The conference room clash came fast, dawn breaking cold over Chicago's steel spires. I strode into Voss Enterprises HQ at 7 a.m., heels clicking on polished marble, my gray coat swapped for a sharp black suit. Armor for the kill. The glass-walled boardroom loomed ahead, city skyline glinting behind, and I walked in like I owned it. Because I did. 12 board members sat tense around the oval table, suits rumpled, coffee cups cold. Victor stood at the head, jaw tight, tie crooked. Lila perched beside him, arms crossed, her glare venomous. Mom hovered near the back, eyes darting. They'd scrambled this meeting post-party, desperate, blindsided. Time to finish the shot. I took the head chair, Victor's old throne, slow and deliberate, setting my tablet down with a soft thud. Morning, I said, voice cool. We're here to finalize the transition. Apex Innovations owns 52% of Voss Enterprises. Effective now, I'm CEO. Murmurs rippled, shock, nerves. Victor laughed, low and bitter. You're delusional. This is my company. I tapped my screen, sliding stock docs across. Not anymore. Apex bought you out. Legal, signed, sealed, check it. His eyes scanned, color draining, hands shaking. Lila snatched the tablet, snarling, "This is fake! You can't!" "Shut up, Lila," I cut in, sharp. "Here's the reality. Voss is tanking. Profits down 40%, clients bailing, all while Apex's renewable techs doubled our margins. You're obsolete." I clicked the projector. Charts flared. Voss's red dive. Apex's green spike. "This is what I built. While you floundered." A board member, bald, spectacled, shifted. "She's right. Numbers don't lie." Another nodded. "Apex could turn us around." Lila spun on them, shrill. "You're buying this. She's a nobody." I smirked. "A nobody who's firing you. Resign, or I'll make it public how bad you've screwed this place." Victor lunged forward, voice cracking. "You can't. I built this." "You inherited it," I shot back, calm. "Grandpa built Voss. You and Lila ran it into the dirt. Apex is worth triple your mess. I'm the fix." Grandma stepped in from the doorway, cane tapping, her gray eyes steel. "She's right, Victor. You're done, both of you." Lila whirled, red-faced. "Grandma, you traitor! You picked her over me?" Grandma's stare was ice. "I picked competence. You've got none." Mom spoke, voice quaking. "Elna, why us? Your family." I met her gaze, unflinching. "You made me the outsider, mocked me, ignored me. I didn't start this, you did." Victor grabbed his chair, knuckles white. "I'll sue, drag this through hell." "With what?" Grandma interrupted, dry. "You're broke. Apex propped your stock. Fight, and you'll lose more." The board shifted, pens out, signing resignations fast, rats jumping ship. A gray-haired exec muttered, "She's got the reins, smart move." Victor's fight faded, shoulders slumping. Lila hissed, "You'll regret this." But her voice shook. I stood steady. "Security's outside. Sign or go." Grandma nodded. Final, proud. They scrawled their names, Lila's pen snapping in her grip. Security loomed, two broad guys, and I waved them in. "Escort them out," Mom sobbed. "Elena!" But I turned away, pulse steady. Victor shuffled out, Lila cursing under her breath. The room emptied, bored nodding at me. Respect, not doubt. I exhaled, sharp, the chair mine now. They'd laughed at my shadow. I just burned their light to ash. Cutting Victor and Lila loose felt like shedding a bad frame. Overexposed, warped, finally scrapped. I was 27 now, standing tall in the CEO's office at Voss Enterprises, Chicago's skyline sprawling beyond my glass walls, a city I'd claimed. The penthouse parties were ghosts now, their champagne clinks replaced by the hum of Apex Innovations tech pulsing through the company I'd seized. I'd perch by my window some nights, wind rattling the panes, and just breathe. No sneers, no pity, just the quiet power of a shot I'd nailed. In 6 months, I'd fused Apex's renewable energy systems into Voss, doubling its value, proof they couldn't erase. The scars didn't fade, though. I'd catch my reflection in the glass, dark hair pulled back, green eyes harder now, and see the girl they'd crushed, the one Grandma taught to fight quiet. My phone lit up after that boardroom coup. Headlines screaming, "Elena Voss, the silent powerhouse, strangers hailing Apex's green revolution." One stuck, a kid named Tara, 23, who'd lost a startup to family greed. "Your win gave me spine," she texted. I fired back. "Shoot your own frame, Tara. You're tougher than they know." It wasn't just my lens anymore. Every move I made sparked something bigger. I'd turned their dismissal into a flare, and damn, it burned bright. Victor and Lila? Whispers drifted in. Victor hawking consulting gigs at dive bars. Lila peddling PR from a rented desk. Their Voss empire dust. They'd dodged my severance offer, too proud to take scraps, and I'd heard they'd sold the penthouse's art to stay afloat. Messages came late. Mom. "Elena, let's fix this." Lila. "You owe us a cut." I deleted them. No blink. Guilt tugged once, wind howling outside. But then I'd hear Victor's Disgrace and Lila's Nobody, and it melted away. They'd built their cage. I'd kicked the door down. Grandma called one day, voice crackling. "You're a storm, Elena. Voss stocks soaring! They're scrambling! I grinned, pulling reports. Apex Grids had clients begging to sign on. They're irrelevant, I said, dry. Guess they miss my hobby now. She chuckled. Couldn't without my push. Grandma was steel. No fluff. Just the one who'd seen me when they wouldn't. A founder DM'd that week. Odd, quiet. Saw your takeover, Elena. Family sank me too. You're my shot. I typed, build it silent. They'll see. The web wasn't chatter. It was a mirror, showing what I'd forged from their trash. The real win hit at an energy expo last month. Packed hall, 300 seats, Chicago's lights blazing behind. I stood up front, screens hot, and broke it down. Voss old flops, Apex's rise, the coup. I didn't need their name, I had my own, I said, voice solid. The crowd roared, hands loud as a shutter snap. After, a guy approached. 30s, lean, tired eyes. I'm Jake, he said, clutching my card. Family killed my wind project. You lit my fuse. I handed him a print, to Jake, unbroken, and watched him leave, step firmer. My chest burned, sharp and full. Every frame I shared was a jab at their doubt, and a lift for someone else. So here I am, 27, richer in ways Victor never grasped, respected by a world that didn't need his shadow. I don't track them, don't care. I've got Apex, my shot, a legacy I carved alone. The best part? I proved I didn't need their table. I flipped it. They'd mocked my blur. I turned it into focus, and every day, I wake knowing I'm the picture they missed. That girl they broke? She's the light now, and she's not dimming.